Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're a return viewer, my name is Sharon and welcome to my channel, Embracing My Joy. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I'm recording this on Super Bowl Sunday and it's snowing like crazy. We just had 24 inches and now I think we're in for another 10 or something, so that's okay. So today I'm making a quick dessert that I made up, and it's vegetarian. It could be vegan if you don't use honey, but I'm making roasted apples with all kinds of good spices and sweetness with a pecan, whichever you prefer, topping. So let's just get right to it. In this bowl, I have 5 chopped up apples, and they're just, bite-sized pieces, bite-sized. And I'm putting in here I have a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter of a teaspoon of ginger, and a quarter of a teaspoon, a heaping teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'm putting that all in here. This is really delicious. I've made this a couple of different ways. This was kind of my own creation. I kind of got hooked on pecans recently. I think this would be good with walnuts too, if you're a walnut person. But I really like the pecan flavor. So I'm going to stir this up, and just to add a little bit more sweetness, I'm putting in a box of raisins. Now, I have recently discovered that not a lot of people like raisins. I can't figure that out because I love them. They're the perfect snack. I always have them in my car, for an emergency, or that and peanuts I carry around with me. Before I found out I was celiac, I used to always have a granola bar with me, and that kind of fell by the wayside after I found out I was poisoning myself by eating them. And I know they have gluten-free nut bars and granola bars, and they're good too, but I try to avoid sugar, whenever I can. And I don't know, I just feel like a fruit snack or a nut snack is a little bit on the healthier side, when you're on the go. So I'm just going to mix this up really, really good. And then the next ingredient, just very little honey. I'm going to melt some honey so we can get it a little bit thinner. Today I'm using blueberry blossom honey. This is delicious, as you can see. The jar is almost gone. But if you wanted to do this vegan, you could... let's see, vegan, if you're okay with sugar, regular sugar, at least honey has vitamins. I think it's the B's, the vitamin, I don't know if it's all B's, or I think it's B6 and B12. That's why I'm okay with using honey, sparingly. But if you wanted to use something else, you could use maple syrup to keep it vegan. Or if you're okay with honey, if you're okay with sugar, I would, of course, recommend brown sugar in this. You can't go wrong with brown sugar. So I'm just going to heat this up just enough to melt it. See, maybe 10 seconds. So I missed you guys. I kind of disappeared in January, and I kind of missed doing my little videos. I was really getting into it, and then, I don't know, the work that I do, my real job, because we all have to work, right? My real job kind of took me away from not so much cooking, but getting ready, getting in front of the camera, and, editing. And although I do enjoy it, it is a little bit time consuming, but I like it. So I'm going to try to get back into it. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, so I did make a big batch of chili. And if you want that recipe, please check out my video on veggie chili. So I'm just pouring this in, and I'm going to mix this up really good, get it all nice and coated. I have the oven preheated at 375 right now. So this, like I said, this is really easy, and this recipe has been created over many, many variances over time. It started with just roasted apples in the oven, and I just got hooked on this little treat when I want something sweet, trying to stay away from junk food and trying to keep my sugar content at 0 or to the, the bare minimum. I'm okay with the honey. And the honey is even a new addition. I kind of added that in just to get this recipe a little bit more moist. So that's it. That's all this is. You can add, I think this would be really good with dried cranberries also. But, those have sugar, added sugar. So I try to keep away from those too, although they are delicious. So I'm just putting this into a casserole dish. And this looks like a lot, but this is all gonna shrink down once they're baked, nice and baked and delicious. And I usually use the Gala apples, but the store didn't have them. I don't know what is going on with my supermarket. I don't know what all the good stuff is going. So these are Cortland's, and I think these will be fine. I'm using Cortland apples today. So I'm going to put this in the preheated oven. Now the other thing, at the same time, I have a bag of pecans, and I'm roasting these on a baking tray at the same time, probably for about maybe 10 minutes or so. Keep your eye on them, make sure they don't burn. I've done that a few times. And I greased this with a little bit of sunflower oil. So you want a neutral oil. Definitely do not use olive oil, or even avocado oil might have too much of a flavor. I had used grapeseed oil at one time, and grapeseed oil, the apples burned a little bit. So just spread these out nice and evenly on a baking tray. And I really want the pecan flavor to come out on these, and that's why I'm roasting these. You could skip this step, but I would not recommend it. Okay, so stick this in the oven. I'm going to put these on the bottom rack. I actually have a piece of tin foil in here. I'll get this out. When I make my cauliflower pizza, I don't like when the cheese drips on the bottom. Is there anything I can do to avoid cleaning? Okay, so put those on the bottom. And I'm going to put these in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. Keep an eye on the pecans, make sure they don't burn, and then probably take them out at the 10-minute mark, and then stir the apples. Just give them a quick stir. Keep them in for 10 minutes longer, and then we're going to make the topping. And then it'll go in for another 10 minutes, and it's going to be gorgeous. You're going to love this, and I hope you try it. So I will be back. I'm going to clean up a little bit, get my food processor out, and I will be back and show you the next step. Hello there. So I'm back. Okay. So I have the pecans, and they're a little bit warm. The house smells awesome, by the way. So I'm just throwing these in the food processor. I'll probably have to do this in batches. So let's see. So I'm going to make a little bit of noise. And you can see these are, they're a little bit, they're probably about the same color, maybe a little deeper. But like I said, they smell really good. So I think we're going to get some good flavor out of these. So just pulse these. Get it kind of crummy. Okay, I want some big chunks because I do want a little bit of crunch. And I'll show you that in a second. So just dump these in a bowl. Putting these in a bowl because I am going to put some good stuff in this mixture too. Okay, and I did pull my apples out, and I'll show you those in a second. They're nice and soft. A little juice came out, really nice, even though we put them in. When you put them in the oven, they're fairly dry. You know, I'm not putting any butter or anything in the apples, like you would maybe with an apple pie, or, you know, apple pies get really juicy and runny. This doesn't really get quite that runny and juicy, but delicious nonetheless. Okay, that's good. And you can see there are some chunks. You want a little bit of crunch. Just dump that in the bowl. Okay. All right. This is heavy. Okay. Now I want to season these too, because that's what we want, right? That's what we're going for. We always want flavor. So I'm just putting a little sprinkle of ginger, just the same seasonings. And I do like a lot of ginger. I think I said this before. You know, I try to use my herbs and spices in a medicinal way too. And ginger is really good for anti-inflammation. Cinnamon's a good antioxidant, so get some cinnamon here. And nutmeg, another antioxidant. And I also just love the flavor of nutmeg. It's my favorite spice. Love nutmeg. Okay, stir this up. And this is nice because the nuts are still a little bit warm, so the seasonings will really stick. Okay, now I am gonna do something that I don't do very often, but we want this to be yummy, yummy, yummy. So I have a little bit of unsalted butter. Unsalted. It's always good to use unsalted, especially when you're baking, but even when you're cooking, because you can control the salt content. You know, and I'm not even using a tablespoon. It's a little less than a tablespoon. It's that much, a little pat of butter. I'm going to melt this. So this is no carbs. You know, like with an apple crumble, you'd probably find, I think, oats, right? I haven't made an apple crumble in a long time, but I think they use oats, oats are fine. I have no problem with oats, but this is a high protein dessert. There's no flour. Tiny bit of sweetness from the honey, and then you have the nice sweet and tart apples. I just think it's all a really good combination. So my butter is like ice in the fridge. We're almost there. Okay. Just a little bit, just to get it a little bit moistened up and bind it together a little bit. And I'm also going to put one more thing in here that's a little bit of a surprise to make it more clumpy. And that is just one more thing to sweeten it up and blend it with the applesauce. So just a couple of teaspoons of applesauce. No sugar added. Just put a couple of teaspoons. And this is going to be perfect. Okay. Okay. just stir this up. Okay. And that is it. That will do it. Now just go for the texture that you like. Like I said, I do like some clumps, but I also like a lot of crunch, and I think this is perfect. So you can see, you know, there's a little bit of moisture in that now. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not, you know, it's not like a dry, just crushed nuts kind of thing. Okay. And the apples, you know, give them a good stir before you put them back in the oven. It's nice. It's just enough raisins, you know. It's not overpowering. This is really all about apples. Just layer this on. And I would say, you know, bake it for maybe another 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You definitely don't want these to burn. I have burned, keep saying that because I have burned this. It's very disappointing. You don't want burned pecans because the whole flavor just changes. It's like when you burn garlic. After you burn garlic, it's just not good. So that is it. That is a carb-free crumble. And mostly sugar-free. I mean, you don't even really need to use honey or maple syrup, but, you know, it's a good addition. So just get this nice, make sure it's nice and even and covered up. And that's it. Back in the oven. And this is nice with a little dollop of whipped cream, or, you know, a little dairy on top. If you want to do that, you know, just drizzle a little cream or oat cream if you want to keep it vegan. And that's it. I'm going to put this in for another 10 minutes and I will come back and show you all. And I hope you try this. It's so easy. It's so quick and easy. It's even a nice healthy breakfast, you know. I think you will love it if you try it. And stay tuned. Step 3, final step coming up. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so this has been sitting for about 30 minutes or so. So I just wanted to show you. I'm going to put a little bit on a plate. I need a spoon for serving and a spoon for eating. Okay. Okay. Wish you could see this. I did take a picture of it, so I will post it. But here it is. Beautiful, right? Okay. So it baked for about 10 minutes uncovered, and then I left it in the oven. I turned the oven off and I covered it with foil and I left it in for about another 10 minutes, and it's been sitting for about a half hour covered. You know, because as I said, you got to be really careful with this, with preventing it from burning. Okay, so here it is. So if you wanted to, here it is. Doesn't that look good? If you wanted to serve this with a little whipped cream, or drizzle a little light cream or oat cream, or, you know, any kind of something to refresh it a little bit, that would be nice. But I like it just like this. All right, so I have an apple, some raisins, and some pecans. This is not dry at all. Here I go. It's still warm. It's really good. There's a nice little crunch and the apples are nice and sweet, and it's nice and it's got that warm fall kind of flavor. This is delicious. It's got an apple pie kind of flavor without all the sugar. I think you will love this. I really hope you try this. This is one of my best ones. Yeah. This and my chili. I really love my chili. So I hope you try this. I'm going to try to post this tonight. And this would really be good with whipped cream. And my puppy's going to stop barking at me. So if you like this video, please subscribe, like, share. Please visit my website. I would love to see you there. www.embracingmyjoy.com, and I'm going to try to post a lot more as the spring starts rolling in, hopefully. So enjoy your day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful week. God bless you, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.